first speaker this evening, I'd like to invite David Couper to come forward. I think I can sum up David Couper in 4-ish words. Well, more than 4, but 4 main things. Former chief of police in Madison, a priest, a poet, and an activist. So, welcome, David.
Great song to warm things up. Of course, you remember the Bad Bunny. Everybody said, why is he singing in Spanish? So we said, well, when Pavarotti sung, they didn't ask him to speak in English. So it's a weird time that we're in right now, and I just I've been writing a lot about what I think police should do to protect us when we go out on the street. And it's pretty silent out there. So we've got a sheriff who's going to be elected in April. Just in case you didn't know, the mayor of your town is in charge of your police, and he or she can tell them what to do. And what they need to do is when we see ICE on the street, when they inevitably come to our city and towns, need to call 911. The police need to show up and document what's on what they see. And that needs to be uploaded for a future date where we can prosecute people for these crimes. Secondly, both federal officers and local police have a duty to intervene. And that means when they see somebody doing something wrong, they should at least attempt to de-escalate or do something. And that should be the second question. When ICE comes to our towns and cities, will our police show up and attempt to de-escalate it? Because when we get out to protest, which we must be doing, who's going to protect us if it isn't our local police? So I beg you to ask those questions. We've got an election coming up in April. Your elected officials will be out there, start asking them questions. Just after Renee Good was killed in Minneapolis, the town in which I grew up in, by the way, served as a police officer there for 7 years, went to the University of Minnesota there, raised a family there before I came to Madison. And I woke up in the middle of the night and said, narrative doesn't work anymore. The arguments don't work. It's time for poetry. So at 2:30 in the morning, I got up and I wrote this poem called Watershed. Pushing 90 now, recollecting ghosts of the 60s, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, all burning in my blood. The blood of a 20-something-year-old student, husband, father, city cop, twisting like a wire in a high wind, torn between the badge and the fire, justice smoldering all these years. Now in these last years of my life, a priest, a former cop, a follower of Jesus, I hear his rebuking words about those lukewarm. Those of us who wish to do nothing, shirking away from the face of tyranny, staying quiet, staying safe. God is nauseous. He spits us out. I feel the disgust for spiritual cowardice, for those who run from the winnowing fire, those who are neither hot nor cold, just spittle. Is that not most of us? Staying in the middle while our neighbors are taken away in the night? We choose to make no waves. We succumb. We get along. Foolishly thinking this is a passing phase, waiting for others to act. Is not silence complicity? Smell the stench? For God's sake, call 911. But when you do, who will show up? Will our city police stand to protect us from kidnapping, assault, even death? Or will they stand by and watch? Ask them. Ask them. We need to know. For if they choose to be spittle, who then will stop the assaults, the killings? No cops stepped in to save Renee or Alex. Listen, it is that bad. It is. No more spittle. We, the observers, must now be the actors. We will bear witness. I speak to white men like me, not because we're special, but because we are not. After a privileged lifetime of supremacy, our sun has shifted, and I am beginning to understand the chilling wind of racism on a body of color. I get it now. The unearned safety, the thinner skin, the whiteness of how we act when stopped by police. I remember Germany. I remember Martin Niemöller, who realized too late that no one was left to speak for him because he didn't speak up for others when they were taken away. I remember the 6th of January. You should too. Never, never forget January 6th. The mob, the insurrection, the first torrent of White House lies. I remember the deaths of those who did not obey, could not follow police orders. I wrote their names in a great litany. Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, Philando Castile, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and now Renee Good, and now Alex Preddy. A decade of death, lessons to be learned that weren't. Look, America, can't we just be better? I spent years teaching cops, Midwestern white kids in college, how to be guardians. My conservative colleague always said to me, if those people, David, just obeyed, they'd still be alive. Really? Do you not know nothing of our history as to the blood-stained rope of 4,000 lynchings, the lash, the cage, the broken families, the bodies? I prepared to teach them about the plantation-based economy, the slave patrols, James Baldwin and Dr. King, even Malcolm. It became the class I never taught. So out they went, smug, shiny, unknowing white faces, off to hours on the range and mere minutes on de-escalation and duty to intervene, never understanding that their most effective weapon rested on top of their shoulders. My writing continues, blue gospels calling out right to life that ignores government homicide. If we employ people to kill for us, shouldn't we have a say in how and when they do it? Perhaps. I suggest only when absolutely necessary, a standard all our European allies embrace. How about Renee? How about Alex? Was their execution absolutely necessary? There'll now be 2 more among the thousands that will be killed by police this year, and the thousands that die each year. Is that acceptable? Our high rate of killing is our moral failure, is our shame. So we have become a killing field. Thousands of masked thugs raid Minneapolis, more agents than city cops, a ratio of 5 to 1. Who's next? Do we wait for our car windows to be smashed, dragged out through the broken glass, chemicals sprayed in our face, knocked to the ground because we said no? No to being manhandled, jailed, deported, even killed? We hear the wailing of children and their mothers. Have we not had enough? Enough. We cannot accept high crimes and deception by our government. We can't allow anyone, not even a president, to be outside our laws. Read Project 2026. It's an autocrat's handbook. It's there. Are your papers in order? Better watch what you say. Who's next? Who's next? Look around. Masked wannabe cops run amok in camouflage gear. No name tags calling themselves police. I know police. They are not police. Not any more than a snake is a sheepdog. They are charlatans who ignore the sacred duty of those who guard and protect our nation and our Constitution and our rule of laws. Now what? How do we resist? The answer is in our history and founding documents. Our founders knew about despots and their tyranny. They left us the right to speak out, peacefully assemble, and protest our government's decisions. I lay awake recalling an old vision of mine, It flows out of the Jim Crow South, out of Greensboro lunch counters, out of my aging heart. Resist. Resist, it says. Do not cooperate. Be wise, be gentle, question authority, act in tens, hundreds, thousands, and more. There is a man with a gun over there telling us we've got to beware. This is a time to beware. In this dream, I see my neighbor, a roof fixer, a father of 4. Our broken system wants to take him away. He's in the bully's crosshairs, but he is my neighbor. I show up. I sit. I am not alone. We do not move. 100 on the sidewalk, 1,000 around his house, a flood of committed, peaceful bodies. More of us show up like sand on a beach. We slow things down. The roundup shudders, stops, sand everywhere, grinding in, clogging everything. We are strong in what we have learned in the teachings of Gandhi, King, and Jesus. We are ready. We are prepared. At first, they ignore us. Then they mock us. Then they threaten us, defame us. Then they come for us in cattle cars and masked thugs to intimidate, arrest, and cage us. And when they do all of this, they lose. Yes, they lose. And we win. We will overcome this great evil. We will be the people we have always yearned to be. We will be heroes. So be it. Thank you.
O sacred world now wounded, we pledge to make you free of hate, of war and hunger and selfish cruelty. And here in our small corner we plant a tiny seed, and it will grow to beauty to shame the face of greed.